I like that. I like that. Hey, thanks, Joe, for the call.
Thank you, guys, and good luck.
And I pray to God by some chance it's a 5-round fight.
I like that. You get a little feisty Rich Franklin today in studio. Mason, we go. Nuke, you're on the Sports Animal. Say hi to Rich Franklin.
Hey, Rich, how's it going? Good talking to you.
How's it going today, bud?
Hey, man, great fight Saturday. I think he caught some really, really bad breaks. I hate to say it, but I think he lost.
Oh, well.
I hate saying that. But
I appreciate your honesty, man. Not everybody's going to think I won.
I don't think the fight hurts you, though, because it's the kind of loss that I don't think people say, well, Henderson destroyed him. I think it's the kind of loss you come back from. But I got a couple questions for you.
Go ahead.
I guess there's no chance we'd see you at 96, is there?
Oh, the one in Columbus here?
Yeah.
No, I'm on medical suspension now. I have not actually contacted the UFC. I had an MRI done on my shin. They ordered that thinking that perhaps I had a hairline fracture or something like that. And the original reading from the MRI, before the radiologist looked at it, when my doctor looked at it, said it did look like I had a hairline fracture, but it ended up being like some blood vessels that they were seeing. So there is no fracture in my shin or anything like that. But I don't know what kind of medical leave or suspension they've given me for this eye. I have to do a follow-up visit with the ophthalmologist next Wednesday. And right now, I can't spar or anything like that. So if I was planning on fighting the first week of March, I would already have to be getting ready for that fight. So that's definitely an out.
Well, that's what I figured. Any chance you might show up at the Fight Club party on Friday night?
There's definite. Apparently, I'm being motioned to here by my team that there is a really good chance that I'm going to be there. So the answer is yes.
Good deal. Well, good deal, man. I hope to see you there.
It's at Club Mint. I'm going to be at Club Mint on Friday, apparently, in Columbus.
Obviously, there's a huge card coming up here this next weekend. I know everyone's talking GSP and Penn, but I got to tell you, the fight that I want to see is Machida Silva. I know you fought Machida. The guy kind of puts me to sleep watching him fight, but what do you think, man? You think that's a matchup he can win?
Machida and Anderson Silva? Or Thiago?
Thiago Silva.
Oh, do I think that's a fight that Machida can win?
Yeah, is he a heavy favorite? Is that a close fight? How do you see that fight?
You know what? I don't know. And the thing with Machida is he's the same way like with you. His fighting style is very boring, but that doesn't make him a bad fighter. He's very effective at what he does. It's just he just does not put on exciting fights. So do I think it's a fight that he can win? Yeah, I think that he'll do the same thing to Thiago. If he does win, he'll do the same thing to Thiago that he's done to every other fighter. He'll make you impatient, suck you into his game, and end up catching you either with a punch or something, then just enough to squeak out a victory.
Nuke, thanks for the call. Got to scoot. We'll take another timeout, come back. More to get to, including what lies ahead. Rich Franklin in studio, hanging out with us on 1530 Homer and 1530homer.com. Do you stay where you are? Do you How do you view the landscape, depending on which way? If you're at 205, if you go,
well, I really didn't. Going back to the show, I wasn't interested in doing the show. I didn't feel like being gone for 6 weeks doing the show. I really didn't want to fight at 185 pounds again. Yeah. So my plan really at this point is to stay at 205. I feel better at this weight. I told my coaches last week when we were in Dublin, I said, it almost feels like I'm on vacation because the week of the fight you have to start tapering down. You can't train as much, so my body physically doesn't feel as beat up as it normally does, and I'm not starving or thirsty or dehydrated. So I spend a lot of time I'm stuck in my hotel room because of the fans. I can't hardly leave. But, it feels like a break from training. And now that I'm back this week, I almost have these jitters, like I need to get back in the gym and train because I had a whole week last week of just kind of relaxing, at least in comparison to what I'm used to doing.
Tell me about the crowd. What was the reception like, the experience of being there this time? You've been there before,
Yeah, I've
right?
been there before. So I guess since I was there for the first Ireland fight and now the second Ireland fight, and the Irish know I put on a tough fight all the time anyway, so I think I've kind of become like their adopted son over there. I had a great fan response, probably more so than Marcus Davis did, and he loves being over there, but he got a great fan response too. But I haven't been to a city in the U.S. or outside the U.S. with Montreal or Dublin or Belfast where I didn't get a good reception from the fans. I think the fans are just appreciative that you're there, and they enjoy watching me fight because I go in to put on an exciting fight every time.
Yeah. So are you now in is it 2 or 3 fight? Will you have to fight 2 or 3 more times to get a title shot, or how does the path work now for you? And if that's the case, how frustrating is that to do that?
It is. I mean that's the first thing you start thinking. I start thinking about from a business perspective how a loss really impacts me anymore. Because it's frustrating. I mean, I'm a competitive person, so it's frustrating to lose a fight. And people say things like, you can come up and say things to me like, well, you had this illegal hit and that illegal hit, and you got screwed by the judges, and none of that stuff makes a difference because I lost. And as far as at the end of the day, when you look at the paper, it's another tally mark in my loss column, which just really puts me on a short leap. Oh, don't even get me started on that. So anyway, aside from that, I start thinking about how that impacts me from a business perspective. How does it impact me with American Fighter, with my website, with that website? How does this impact me with my hunt for the title shot back in the UFC again and all that kind of stuff? I like the way I feel at 205. I get a lot of response from people my coaches and people that don't know me that say, hey, you look a lot better fighting at 205. You look more energetic and all that kind of stuff. So my plan is to stay here. I don't know how much this puts me back, really, because since it is such a controversial decision and a lot of people view me as winning, I know Fox Sports had me scored winning the fight, and there's been a fairly large percentage of the majority of people that have been writing into a lot of the forums and stuff have been talking about how they thought I won the fight. I'm not sure how much this really sets me back, but it is going to be somewhat of a setback at this point in time, and I don't really know where that puts me in line for a title shot. And I said this before the fight. The fight with Dan and I was one of those fights. It was kind of like one of those dream fights that fans have been asking for the longest time, and I think they got their money's worth. At least I felt like I was exciting in that fight anyway. I don't know. I don't know how exciting it is to take somebody down and do nothing, but somebody had to create some excitement. But no, I mean, so you're
all worked up this time. This is a worked up Rich Franklin.
I really believe that people are going to see a slightly different version of me in the future. Come now, I'm not a happy camper over this one, but no. So we'll see. We'll see who the next victim is, and we'll go from there.
Take a time out, come back, more to get to. Rich Franklin in studio hanging out, 1530 Homer, 1530homer.com.